Welcome back. It seems like about a month ago that we're sitting here and we're having your confirmation hearing. Your parents and your spouse and your children, we're all sitting behind you, full of joy and pride. And I hope they still feel that way. And again, we're still grateful to all of them for sharing you with our country.
Somehow I'm 2 inches shorter now, Senator. No, I'm
well, you don't
great.
look it. You don't.
I've got a great team holding me up here.
That's good. Today there are no minimum standards, as you know, for our professional requirements for paid tax preparers. It's not a new issue. This is one we've talked about and, frankly, not done enough about for years. But the problem too often results in error-filled tax filings, sometimes outright fraud, as you know. While most preparers provide excellent service to their clients, the IRS receives tens of thousands of complaints each year about bad actors. And for these reasons, the General Accountability Office has recommended again and again and again that the Congress give the IRS the authority to establish standards to properly regulate paid preparers, especially those who may be acting in bad faith or preparing inaccurate tax returns. Again, this is not a new issue. It's one that we've actually, I think, discussed before. How is the IRS managing the risk associated with paid preparers who knowingly or unknowingly prepare inaccurate returns? And what more should the Congress do to further protect taxpayers?
Senator, it's such an important issue. As I move up my learning curve every day on tax administration, you start to see that there are moments where problems occur and there isn't a victim. It's a mistake. The wrong amount might be paid. The victim might be the government's finances, but there isn't an individual person that's a victim. But in the cases that you raise, there are victims. There are people that are being taken advantage of, often vulnerable populations, unsuspecting, and it can be heartbreaking and it's angering. And I want the IRS to be doing its part to really kind of close this type of stuff down and to be as aggressive as we can be in dealing with these nefarious individuals who are creating victims in order to financially benefit themselves through the tax system. More tools would be helpful. As I said earlier, I can't comment formally on legislation. That's the domain of the Treasury Department. But we always welcome tools that can help us do more outreach or crack down on fraud and on the type of behavior where the result is a victim. And so I know that we have teams of people at the IRS that are looking at these nefarious preparers, trying to determine how we can get to them earlier. There's a lot of education. During filing season, Senator, we do something we call the Dirty Dozen, which is where we outline the tax scams that are out there. We try to promote it, get as much publicity as we can out to Americans that these are the types of things to be on the lookout for. And scamming preparers is one of the things that is like always front and center in our Dirty Dozen.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Helping get the message out is critical.
Good. Thanks for that. I think Senator Warren may raise before I arrived at the hearing today the issue of no-cost filing services and expanding those. But with the 2023 tax filing season coming to a close, many of my constituents recently went through the complex and often costly process of filing their tax returns. My wife and I did too. But while the Free File program was created to simplify this process at no cost for lower-income taxpayers, the program is not working as intended. And a review of the program that I requested from GAO, from the General Accountability Office, not long ago found that the program's utilization rate is drastically low, disappointingly low, with I think some 4% of eligible taxpayers using the program in 2020, 4%. In response to GAO recommended the IRS offer additional options for free online filing service Fortunately, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, as you know, the IRS now has the resources to expand access to free, simplified filing options, which would improve tax compliance and strengthen the fairness of the tax system. Here's my question. What are the benefits of expanding no-cost filing options for low and middle-income taxpayers, and what action is the IRS taking to make it easier and more accessible now for taxpayers to file their tax returns in future years?
Yeah. So the main benefit is options. You know, different taxpayers have different preferences based on their preference, based on their position in terms of how they're going to engage with the IRS. You know, we would love all taxpayers to engage with us in a more digital way, but not all taxpayers can. Some of them want to walk into our walk-in centers, and we've been able to open more walk-in centers with the Inflation Reduction Act. The benefit, Senator, is options. Taxpayers need options. And the other benefit is if we can implement these options in a way that simplifies a very complicated journey that can often be very intimidating, then we've created a true benefit to America and to citizens, that they have optionality, and we've made their job easier of complying with the code.
Thank you.
And the Inflation Reduction Act does provide us needed resources to be able to build those channels. Now, I know there's this one question that's out there on direct file, and as I mentioned earlier, we are mandated by the Inflation Reduction Act to study it. I think when we produce that study, we'll be able to discuss potential issues, strategies, what to do from here.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.